You know, you've got an awful lot of train stuff up there.
Yeah, it's alright.
Just alright. You're covering the house in train stuff, but it's just alright.
Hey, you said you liked it.
I said a lot of things, babe.
I'm sat here thinking that I need a new project, and I've got into this vlogging thing, so I'm sat here by my computer, and I'm going to turn that round a little bit. I don't know whether any of this will come out. It'll probably just look completely white on the screen. Oh no, some of the text is there. I'm sat here, and I've got my computer on behind me, and for a long time I've kind of let the writing slide. Yeah, I know I kind of bill myself as being writer-author, but it's been surprisingly a long time since I last wrote anything, and I blame how busy I've actually been. Let me just...
Wow, it's creepy. You're doing a power shot and you're in shadow.
Really?
Yeah. You could be anyone.
I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about projects that I'm looking to do. It's 2017, it's a new year, and most people I suppose would do New Year's resolutions, things like give up smoking, give up drinking, lose weight, go to the gym every week, you know, that kind of nonsense. Well, in my case, one of the things I've become increasingly more conscious of is the fact that I've let my writing slip an awful lot, and I guess it's one of the things that it afflicts a lot of writers. Look at Harper Lee, with the length of time between books for her. And I can sympathise, because one of the greatest narcs of being a writer can be writer's block. And it comes in many, many forms, not necessarily just sat staring at a screen day in, day out, but simply, for want of a better expression, loss of mojo. The mojo is gone. What I'm actually working on is I had a book. It's nominally called Long Summer of War, and it was born out of a very long short story that I wrote. It was published in a magazine a long time ago, and then, a bit like the Bringing Home the Stars books, I thought this has got a little bit more to it, and it's one of the reasons that I don't tend to write a lot of short stories, because they don't stay as short stories. Quite a few of my books have been born out of ideas that were originally just short stories, and with Long Summer of War, I wrote it after having turned Bring Home the Stars into a full-length book, and that was unusually successful. But as part of the writing process that I've talked about before, it's quite often a really good idea to go away, immerse yourself in a completely different project, to remove yourself from the creative processes of writing a book, so that you can then go back and edit it in a manner that you're not immediately quite so connected to the creative processes. Because what actually happens, if you try and edit a book straight after you've written it, you can't do it. Because in your brain, you still remember all that creative processes, what you meant to say, what you were actually getting at. And it glosses over a lot of the mistakes.
What are you looking at me for? I'm a rabbit. I'm not psychic. I'm just sat here trying not to think of an orange penguin. Oh no. Oh, I did is... don't look here. Look up.
So the best thing to do is to go and write something completely different. And then when you're done with that, put that to one side, and then go back and do the editing, which is what I did. And I had this long short story, and I turned it into a full-length book. It's about 75,000 words, which is, you know, a bit on the short side, but it was all based around an idea that I had that's not science fiction, not fantasy fiction, nothing like that. For want of a better description, it's actually literary fiction. And it really just focuses on the relationships between principally two characters, but also some of the peripheral characters surrounding them. And when I wrote the short story, had it published in this magazine, I knew that there was more to it. I felt like I was being cruel to myself, cutting a lot of stuff out, trying to gloss over things to keep it short, and it didn't work out. It was about 12,000 words, so it was really quite long. But in the meantime, Bringing Home the Stars did really, really well. We did a book signing tour, and people really wanted more of the same. So I found myself then being drawn away and writing Twinkle Little Star, which ultimately leapfrogged Long Summer of War, because it was the genre that people kind of expected from me. And that did really well as well. And then I got sucked into a new job, didn't really have the time. As is always the way really with these things, just getting in my flow and the memory card fills up. So, quick pit stop. Where was I up to? Essentially, I just got leapfrogged by events. So what I'm proposing to do now, be it beginning of 2017, sort of New Year's resolution type thing, is I kind of feel like taking this on as a project. I've looked back through the files and it's quite embarrassing actually. 2010 was when it was written. 2012 is the last time I ever opened the file up to look at it, and it's a complete book. Largely ready to go. It has had 2 passes of editing. I am number 2.
Who is number 1?
You are number 6.
I am not a number. I am a free womble.
You know, it's been hacked around a little bit, but it comes during the Stars period of my work, as I'm guessing I'm going to call it, because I wrote the 2 Stars books either side of it. So it should be a similar sort of writing style, albeit it's not science fiction, it's literary fiction. So as a project, and what I'm going to try and document is, I'm going to revisit this book and kind of try and use it to see if I can rekindle the old writing mojo. And it's something that, in a way, I'm cheating a bit. I've always said that the hardest part of writing is the starting. And here I am with 75,000 words, pretty much finished book. All I've got to do is edit it. But it's not really much fun to, I suppose, follow somebody just tapping away on the keyboard. The stage I'm actually at is I'm faced with the prospect that really this is a book which is completely different from the genres that I'm used to, that I've done before. I don't really even read an awful lot of literary fiction. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some books like Silas Marner, George Eliot, Faulkner, Moonfleet, books like that really, that I suppose they're literary fiction. They're certainly classics. So, but it's not a genre that I kind of know a lot about. You don't know, man, you went there. What I'm actually trying to do here is write a synopsis, and I suppose this is the first stage to actually sending it out and trying to get an agent for this, because what you find in the publishing world is that people who specialise in, say, science fiction aren't the same people who specialise in literary fiction or non-fiction or historical or romance or anything like that. So I'm in a position where, even though my name's on best part of 10 books, something like that, that are in print, that you can buy through Amazon, through Waterstones, I'm in a position where it's like I'm coming to this for the first time. And I can remember back in the 1990s going through a very dog-eared copy of the Writers and Artists Yearbook, and I grew to loathe that book because it had all my notes in, and it was, you know, all of the agents who didn't bother get back to me, or rejected it outright, or just, you know, acted like gatekeepers, didn't even bother reading it. It'd be, oh no, our lists are closed, we're not even going to bother looking at it. And I can kind of sympathise with a lot of these stories you hear of people like J.K. Rowling who have drawers full of rejection letters, Stephen King the same. I could totally see why it was happening, but I'm going to give this a go again. I'm going to try and find an agent and a publisher for Long Summer of War. See, can it be done? And I'm going to try and document this in videos as we go. So we're going to see where it goes. And first things first, I think I probably ought to produce a video of it, is how to write the the synopsis. Pretty much everybody that you can submit to, and it always was the case, wants a synopsis, either 5-page, 10-page, or in most cases actually now, a single page, 500 words, something like that. And this isn't what you find on the back of a book. This is actually the nuts and bolts of your plot. And the whole point of this is to show an agent or a publisher, or even indeed do this for yourself, show that there's no gaping plot holes. Because what you don't want is Michael J. Fox to turn up in a time machine halfway through your book to wave a magic wand over things with magic and fix everything and make it all pull together, because that just makes for a crap book. That's really what I'm trying to do right now. I'm sat here in front of a computer screen and I've got to condense a 75,000 word book down to 500 words in a way that kind of reads like, if you go to Wikipedia and you look up a book or a film, a synopsis is essentially the brief outline of that book or film. Oh, and don't use Word's auto-summarize function. It doesn't work. I know, I checked. And I've been looking at the synopses of films just to try and get a little bit of inspiration of how other people have done it. And it's horrible. I hate doing this. So I found actually online there's some good resources out there. It's a lot different from when I was doing this back in the 1990s, a long time ago. Because now that the internet exists and it's meaningful, and yeah, you're going to get a lot of charlatans. I found so many people who are effectively vanity publishers who are trying to dress themselves up as anything but actually are just scam artists. So ignore all of that. But I found some really good advice actually from a couple of agents, and one of them is actually called Lucy Luck, and it's a kind of, I think it is a genuine name, but that is like an awesome, cool name, Lucy Luck. It's like some kind of superhero in the extended Marvel universe or something. But there you go. But there's a couple of other literary agents as well out there who are quite prepared to blog and give some really good advice. So one of the ones that I've found, it's like a step-by-step formula, because I'm not the only one who hates putting together synopses. It seems that most authors do. And it's a skill that unfortunately you need to acquire, because nobody's going to sit there and read your entire book to deduce whether it actually resolves properly and has no plot holes. They want it set out so they can see on one page. And then they will generally ask for a couple of chapters, first 50 pages, something like that. And that's what they're seeing, whether your writing style is any good, whether you actually can realise what you've set out in your synopsis properly. And if they like that, they'll ask for the full thing and read the full thing. So let's give it a go, shall we? Hopefully by the time I do another video, I'll have an all singing, all dancing synopsis, and I'll be able to talk you through what I did, how I made it work. And I'm kind of hoping I had a time machine right now. Great Scott, Marty! It's going to destroy the space-time continuum! So I could go ahead in time and see how I did it. Save me the aggro of doing it. Memo to self, if we invent time travel, come back to now and let us know. No, looks like we didn't invent it then. It's a shame, really. That's why time machines can't actually exist. Anyway, thank you, you wonderful people, for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, share it too, and subscribe back to the channel and look through all those wonderful videos that we've been doing now. But hopefully this will turn into a series, and maybe even we'll find success together in this writing literary world as I put together this book, nominally titled as The Long Summer of War Now, but we'll see where it goes. And hopefully we find success. Anyway, you take very good care of yourself. This is me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now. And I'm the one from the future. The future. You get the idea. Because look, I've got baker foil. And that's, you've seen the Jetsons. That's future. Baker foil. Don't make without it.